So, for those that don't know me, my name is Des. I've lost 185 pounds and had a 2-day skin removal surgery. Since 2022, I really started sharing my story strong, and I wrote 2 ebooks called Remember Your Why. My heart and my passion is helping women, whether it be with food addiction and self-love. I'm just a small town girl from southern West Virginia, y'all. And it's been hard to dream in a place like this. But I had worked my ass off to get where I was. But right after I got my skin removed, I got pregnant. You know, my baby's dad was excited and he wanted me to keep the baby. He was in his 40s and never had children, so he said that it was always his dream to be a dad. The only issue is that he was 5 hours away, and I told him, like, very, very clearly that I did not want to have to do this by myself and him 5 hours away. And coming from a small town, I'll admit that I've been very naive when it comes to people. And also, when you're not a shitty person, it's hard to understand when people shit on you. I had, just now moved into a 2-bedroom home, and that was such a big deal for me. Where I come from, women can never really make more money than a man, and it's hard for us to make it on our own. I was getting ready to start my podcast show and really take my business to the next level. I had done hair for 10 years, but number one, I'm 4'9", so it was really hard on my body physically. Number two, I also at times was 300 pounds trying to do hair, so I slipped a disc in my back, sciatic issues, plus where I had the weight on me, it's really affected my days. Also, I had to grow up and realize that I was doing a job that didn't have retirement, didn't have insurance, wasn't really stable. And when I started sharing my story, and especially when my books come out, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a really good influencer. I'm a really good speaker. I really can do this. And then I got asked to be on a talk show to talk about my books. And you talk about a life-changing experience for me, that was it. When I was on that set doing my interview, I knew that this was what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I remember the woman even was so shocked because she said that I just done everything so natural. She was like, are you sure you've never done an interview before? And I was like, no, I've never done an interview. This was my first one because I literally killed it, y'all. It was the shit. And then I learned a lot about pregnancy and being by yourself. I literally got sick as shit the first couple months of my pregnancy. I was completely by myself, and I don't even really remember even getting out of the bed much. I was so emotionally a mess, I couldn't even go live and attempt to try to sell a book because I would just sit there and cry the whole time. I was so proud of myself, y'all. In 4 months of my book coming out, I had anywhere between $15,000 to $17,000 in the bank. And I had never done that in my entire life. So when I got my savings up, I was like, okay, and that's when I decided to move into this house. But the only problem was, it was double the bills. But I didn't expect to get pregnant. That was nothing, that was nowhere in my head. So I was like, heck yeah, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to quit my job as a hairstylist, do this full time. Books are booming, move into the house, go to the talk show. Life is freaking awesome, man. I put a couple $1,000s, getting moved in, starting my podcast room up. My podcast show was going to be called Des Talks because, Des likes to talk. But I got so sick and so depressed that my money would just literally just started going down, 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 down because I literally could not work. I stayed in that house from February last year till September, and I literally was like, oh my gosh, my baby's coming and my money is just going down the drain and I have to do something quick. So I went back to doing hair, but I could only do just 3 days a week because my body just would not let me stand all day. Let me tell you something. I literally recovered from a 2-day skin removal surgery, the surgery from hell, by myself, and nothing compared to how hard it was when I was alone and pregnant. So I moved back into a tiny 1-bedroom apartment, and my baby's dad was like, it's okay because you're going to be moving to Raleigh, once the baby's born, and You know, so I still had hope. This man watched me cry my eyes out because, see, I had met him when I come out with my first book. So he literally watched me on top of the world, so happy every single day. And then when I got pregnant, he watched me lose all this money. He watched me give up my home that I worked so damn hard for. And I was just completely devastated. I moved into my apartment September 1st. And not even 20 days later, he told me that he did not want to be a family with me, and he did not want me and the baby to come to Raleigh. And that was when he told me that he had slept with a woman that he knew had herpes, and he had to come clean, because if he had it, he didn't want to, you know, pass it to me and then pass it to the baby. So now I'm sitting here in a one-bedroom apartment. My mom had to move 2 hours from my hometown to come down and help me, so I'm living with my mom. I have me, the baby, and 2 little chihuahuas. I've also been on my own for the past few years, so being like an independent woman, living alone, like, I was so proud of myself for that. And now I'm in the position where my mom is sleeping on the couch. She doesn't even have a closet. We have no room in this place. And my baby's getting ready to start solid foods in 2 months. And we don't even have room to put his high chair. And I have never felt this kind of pressure in my entire life. Like, everything is now fell on me. And the point is that I connected myself to somebody who didn't have anything to lose like me. I connected myself to someone who did not have a dream like me. I also connected myself to someone who is literally from a different damn country, a different culture, and just a complete different view even of women. But next time, I won't be so stupid, y'all. And next time, I won't be so naive. And I have learned that I will never connect myself to someone who literally has nothing to lose. I can honestly say that 2024, I literally thought was going to be the best year of my life. But 2024 almost destroyed me. But 2025 is my comeback. And if there's one thing that I know about me, is that if somebody tries to ruin my life, it will only make me work 10 times harder. I won't be struggling for the rest of my life. I won't be living in a tiny ass 1-bedroom apartment much longer. I will be able to give my baby his own room with a crib. And every single thing that I lost, I know that God is going to give me double. And I refuse to let that man take my dream from me. And I will always share my story to warn women that this shit really happens every single day. I didn't know that men would beg you to keep a child if they really didn't want to be a full-time dad. But I know that I will raise my son to be better than that. And one day he's going to know that his mom fought like hell to give me and him the life that we deserve. Remember your why, y'all.